What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 10 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Miao Ying Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we had the Kurgan Warband appear and attack in an attempt or attempts to breach the Great Bastion. They failed to do so quite spectacularly as they were gunned down, grenaded, coraled, pincushioned, whatever you want to call it, and just generally obliterated. It was pretty fun. We got lots of XP and money on the armies that defended, which is much needed, especially on Shao, who is our Terracotta Lord, who is definitely going to want to have XP to buff the automatons who are being constructed as we speak. In terms of what we got to do this time, it's time to finally wipe out the JIANGSHI rebels, so we're going to be heading towards them in order to have Miao Ying fight some undead, which should be fun. Certainly something that's been missing from this campaign, as I definitely favor both playing as and playing against the undead. Anyway, Miao Ying, we'll start with you. Let's do things in order and move you where you need to be. You have construction cost reductions a little bit, which I guess would have been helpful here, but all good. Everybody move forward. Go, go, go.
The dragon-blooded.
Alright, it'll be a couple turns as we move on towards the JIANGSHI rebels, but that's probably not a bad thing, especially since it'll enable us to invest in our econ a little bit, which is definitely something that we wanted to do. Was intending to build some peasants here, but you know what, I think we will hold off for now. Maybe start it back up again when we are closer to the next Bastion attack. You, Zhu Zhao, will, I guess, land here and then go right beside this little Beastmen army. We'll see if they're willing to stay there or whether they get wise to the idea that we're about to attack them and try to run away. Still should wipe them out and definitely need and want to. Administrator doesn't need to move. You. Now you are providing how much military presence here is 6. You know what, let's keep you here for at least a couple more turns until the public order here is at least above 0, and then we'll do some raiding of these guys. Maybe even fight them once again and wipe them out. Although I would like to perhaps get a couple more new units in here. Also, how many levels do we need to get you upgraded to Jade Longma? Rank 7. Alright, so it's going to be a while for those Jade Lancers. This isn't the Longma army, but I do think that we need at least one sort of unit of patrolling Longma to protect the Sky Junks and Sky Lanterns in case we run into an enemy that has a lot of range. So you stay there. Jiaming. You are going to the Valley of Horns, and that hasn't changed. So move down here. Let's see if we've got enemies, and indeed we do. Just the one, but oh, actually not just the one. Just the 2. Huh, I wonder. They might try to run from Jiaming and try to go this way. Although, the other opportunity, go into ambush stance. Let's see. I don't know whether this is a better idea or not, but they might be too afraid of his army to try to fight him directly. So let's try the ambush. Definitely want the resource-rich Ivory Road for ourselves, since Greasy couldn't be bothered to properly keep it. Otherwise, I believe we're good to end the turn, unless I'm mistaken, so let's skip. I'm going to assume that I did diplomacy last time, but my memory don't last a day, so it's just wishful thinking. Anyway. Let's end the turn, and see if anybody attacks us. In the meantime, while the turn is ending, once again, we did manage to make the engagement threshold, so this will be an hour-long, hour-adjacent, etc. episode, and the engagement threshold remains until episode 13. 400 likes, 60 comments, and the next episode will be long as well. Helman Gorst wants a non-aggression pact still, and it looks like he's very much suffering against Kugath. It should be pretty fun to fight Kugath as well, so we'll be moving down towards him rather soon, too. Alrighty, and it looks like nobody will attack us, but that's just fine. More time to get into upgrading the rest of our territories. Ready for DUT technology researched, the Nemesis crown claimed by the Fecundites. And we got a new research available. I guess we're going for administrative subsidies. Really, it's this that we really want as fast as possible. The Astromantic Choir. Oh, it's like the Astropathic Choir of the 40k. Nice. But yeah, 2 more Astromancers. Really want as many of those as we can get because we have so many techs. I mean, we're barely getting started on the techs. We need so much more research. So it's definitely something we'll want to look into. Actually, speaking of, while we're at it, let's do a little bit of tech thievery, shall we? 100%, good job. Looking good, sir. And you leveled up, so let's get Steel Tech maxed out as well. May as well Steel Tech from the others as we can. Success, and I'm just going to assume that it's a success as well. Good. Miao Ying, let's get you moving as well, as close to Shiama's rest as possible. Like so. You can't attack it immediately anyway, and that's just fine. We won't suffer attrition here, which is nice because this isn't a this isn't an attrition territory. By which I mean it's not a it's not corrupted because Nongchang is preventing the corruption, which also works out nicely for us. All right, keep moving this way. And you know what? This will all mean hopefully more XP for the Jade Warriors here. Maybe we'll just keep upgrading them until they're ready to reach Celestial Dragon Guard, and that will be the Celestial Dragon Guard for Jiao Ming. So we wouldn't have to worry about very slowly, much more slowly at least, leveling his current ones up. Anyway, Administrator Chansai, you have got your first Terracotta Automatons up and running. I guess you want to trade them to Enshao, though I guess it doesn't really matter who has what, depending on whether you continue here or whether you recruit. We should move back to Turtle Gate in theory. We do want those Fire Rain rockets up and running, and there's a lot of stuff to build, but at the same time, we should keep recruiting as well. Oh, higher ranks now. I like it. We also got the jet lines to build. Yeah, it's going to take a bit to recruit the Terracotta Automaton, so get to recruiting... Ooh, wait, actually, I just realized something. Possible issue. We would like to upgrade the market. Well, it's just the one. Alright, fine. Upgrade the market here. I wanted to upgrade the administration centers, but I'm not so sure. Maybe if we get enough money from Jiao Ming attacking, which is kind of out of the order that we're doing things, but do it anyway. Go to Valley of Horns. The other army has moved away, and, well, that's the enemy's problem. Oh, the moon birds will die. Poor burbs. Alright, fine. We'll fight this manually real quick. This is not looking like it's going to be any kind of issue. And then you, Ningwei, will move right here. I'm going to assume that there's no other army nearby. I am also going to assume that you can take Grimtop yourself. And maybe that means we can have you take Grimtop and then... Jiao Ming take the Great Hall of Greasus by reinforcing? It's certainly a possibility. And let's see, are you nearly dead? What are we doing here? 3 to, yeah, he's nearly dead. Ooh, Sylvania's up to rank 6, pretty good. Let's see what else we got in terms of potential allies. Disciples of the Maw still around and still do like us. They're fighting Karazakarak, though, and I... feel like we'd rather have Karazakarak as allies because the Dwarfen units, just like Imperial units, would fit nicely in with ours. Wargrove of Woe, I would like to ally with you as well, but I imagine you're going to be unfriendly with Kislev, so we'll just ignore you for now, though that may change. We'll keep ignoring the Okamoto and Sanyo clans because we don't want the public order hit right now and possibly never again. The Legion of Asgore wants to peace out, and let's talk to Grimgor again. I want to see if he's willing to fight the Legion of Asgore now that they're even weaker. 3,000 gold, and we could get them to fight each other. It would be a distraction, which is a decent thing to do. Plus, we don't necessarily want to go all the way here. Frankly, I would prefer Imric to have this territory, but I'm also not sure how well Imric's doing. In fact, we haven't talked to him in a while. Let's see how many territories he holds. He's got 5 settlements, strength rank 71, so he probably is struggling against the rats a little bit, but not having the Chaos Dwarfs near him might be good. I was also wondering whether Kugath was fighting him, but not the case. Oh, I guess we could get the bonus diplomatic relations with Greenskins by grabbing Pig Barter for ourselves as well. Anyway, I think what we'll do is first attack this, and this may reduce the strength of this faction, and that may allow us to pay less to Grimgor, essentially. So let's fight this manually real quick. I mean, it's just laborers and stuff, it's not going to be any problem. I really got to get that tier 4 up and running, though, because I really want more of those Fire Rain rockets. It feels so weird not to have them. But on the other hand, I suppose it feels good not to have to rely on them so much, because they're such a strong unit. Don't worry, we're kind of saving them, at least in part, for our fire army, which we still have to make. Still a bunch of armies, in fact, that we're gonna try out and very much enjoy. Now... I guess we could go here, and yeah, we'll go up here, it doesn't really matter. Like this, and... well, the Fire Rain rockets actually have a bit of a dangerous aspect to them, just like the Hellstorm rocket batteries, in that they can sometimes hit your own units, so let's be a little bit careful with that. You crossbows in front of them. Well, mostly likely just... I wanna get this set up so it can be like a pseudo-cinematic, where we don't really have to control our army. That's the plan, anyway. Like so. You guys should be able to hold just fine. I don't know why I set these guys back up right there. Jade Longma and the other flyers, you guys can wait in case somebody charges us on the flanks, which is a distinct possibility. Jamming in front, Alchemist here. We don't have anybody who can protect the flanks really, but that's well, it's hopefully alright. Alright, you here, and we have a drum as well, and we'll put the drum in the center of all this and increase the accuracy and then switch it to armor. Afterwards, turn off the skirmish mode for you, and I believe that's all we gotta do, so start battle. And where's that drum? Where's that accuracy? Right there. Alright, and we'll speed it up until our units are there we go, are ready to fire. Alright, probably a waste to fire the grand cannons at the at those guys though, so we'll target the single entities with them. You know what, in fact you can start firing on the Overseer, and then you can start firing on the Sorcerer Prophet as soon as he's in range. In fact, let's just speed it up a teensy bit, and then fire at you. There we go. Alright, let's see how well they snipe them. Probably not super well because they're fire resistant, and, well, we not so much. Anyway, fire rain rockets nearly in range, or maybe not so nearly, but anyway. And once again, for like the billionth time, I absolutely love the way these cannons sound. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. Anyway, fire away. Doing tiny bit of trickle damage and better than nothing. We could do a nice wall of wind and fire through the enemies or something, but at the same time, it's not super necessary either. Anyway, keep firing away at the enemy lord, and there we go. Fire rain rocket firing at last, and raining rockets as it does. Beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to get more of these guys. And once again, I do feel like Jiao Ming will have artillery in combination with melee infantry. He doesn't need basic range infantry. Frankly, if we could get a Skaven ally, it would be pretty hilarious to give him warp lightning cannons and weapons teams and stuff. But anyway, the ogres can serve that particular purpose. Anyway, looks like some of the first enemies are moving into range of the Jade warriors with crossbows. Interestingly, the one on the right flank, or on the right side rather, is firing arcing shots over, and the other one is firing straight direct fire. Kind of interesting. I wonder why it does that. Or why it's doing that in this particular case. Anyway, let's have the Alchemist maybe cast a little Gehenna's Golden Hounds in the enemy's way right there. And Jiao Ming, you want to cast anything? Well, there's some range units running around. Let's cast a Wall of Wind and Fire right there. But don't bother transforming, just sit around. Alright, and just keep firing. Wait, is anybody attacking our flanks? We're still good, not forever, but good for now. The fire is certainly working for us. Fire rain rockets, cannons, wall of wind and fire. Looks like the enemy units are running from it. But this was always going to be just a minor battle. Alright, here come the enemy on our flanks, and we'll probably have to land these guys towards them. How are those enemy lords looking? Oh, wait, did the Overseer die? No, he is still approaching, though not for long. And ooh, Searing Doom hits our Celestial Dragon Guard that will last for the enemy and doesn't do too much damage. Here comes some Goblin Laborers, and let's give a nice charge to both of them with our aerial units. Like so. Celestial Lion and the Jade Longma. I love how colorful all the Cathayan units are. Camouflage is the color of fear after all. And it's a nice color scheme. Another reason why I really like the Bretonnian factions. And ooh, Fire Rain Rocket. I stopped paying attention to you for 1 second. You start firing at our own units here. All right, Jiao Ming, let's get this Overcast Dragon's Breath right through this blob of enemies. There we go. I'm sure that tore them to shreds. And you can switch to armor just in case we get our own units firing on our own units. And there we are. Enemy Lord sniped just as the battle ends, and with that, the battle is very much ours. Didn't even activate the area magic or anything like that, but let's face it, it really wasn't needed. Wow, 710 kills on the Fire Rain Rocket, certainly something we've come to expect on these things, but still very nice to see. Lovely. Lovely, no problem at all. We got solid work out of our Jade Warrior crossbows in this army, and they are going to probably rack up a little bit of XP while fighting here, so we can definitely keep them around and then transform them into Celestial Dragon crossbows. Miao Ying's army shouldn't be the only army that has the crossbows with them. We gotta get at least one more, and We'll probably use at least a couple, 2 or 3 crossbows in several of the generalist armies as well. But that'll be a larger mix of units. But we still got a bunch of themed armies to do, so that's the priority right now. Anyway, Trickster Shard, occupy the place. And mission successful for Goldtooth. Scroll of Shielding, hopefully we can turn that into something useful. You can, by the looks of it, reach either Great Hall of Greasus or Krakatan from here, which would be nice. In fact, if you go Greasus, Krakatan, maybe, or, well, we'll see how Ningwei handles all of this. Anyway, let's see what else we've got. Administrator, oh, I didn't set up the recruitment. Well, my bad. 1, 2, 3, I'm glad I looked back here. Lanhu, you're stuck. Tanji Chen, you're stuck where you are as well. Okay, you are not stuck, and these guys didn't run. Foolish. Tremendously foolish. We should in theory upgrade these guys to Jade Lancers, but I think we'll forego doing so right now because, yeah. Oh. Yeah, we do have military access with them. Ooh, I thought we were trespassing this entire time, and I got a little bit concerned. In fact, wait, are you able to trade with us as yet? No. How much money for the... More than 1,000, eh? Well, that's a shame, but public relations, our friendliness, our relationship is rising. Let's do this fight as a non-manual, as a cinematic fight. Declare war. Hopefully this guy doesn't run around like this, making him literally impossible to catch. This isn't Kazrak himself, is it? No. Declare war. War declared. And he's just gonna sit there. Lovely. Cygor might be a little bit of an issue until we get the Iron Hail Gunners in range. Centaurs might be an issue as well, as they will obliterate our units of peasant horses, despite what the stats may say. Oh, they got area attacks too. But maybe the Jade Lancers can hold them. Should be pretty interesting, I'd wager. Let's get to it.
Today is no different. Fight for order and harmony.
Alright, here we go. Gonna fight some Beastmen, which has been definitely a rarity in this campaign, so may as well enjoy it. Anyway, here we go, moving forward with our Gate Masters and our Dragon-Blooded Shugengan to try to go after that enemy Cygor. We certainly don't want the Cygor firing away or chucking stones at our extremely slow-moving Jade Warriors, so we gotta try to distract it as best we can. Fortunately, we do have a couple of things in our favor here. First, the mobility of our units, as we have mounts and the enemy by and large does not. And second, the massive area denial. I don't want the enemy to blob up around us because it feels cheap, so instead, just as we arrive, we'll cast the Wall of Wind and Fire in the way of the enemy and see how much damage this one spell does. And this way we don't cast it on top of ourselves and I don't feel bad about it. I love these sort of silhouettes of units when they get burninated by the wall and thrown around by it as well. Anyway, the enemy will hit us right back with its own cast as a Melkot's Mystifying Miasma hits the Jade Lancers, and once again, I'm always impressed with how devastatingly damaging Melkot's Mystifying Miasma is in SFO for its cost. You can see that the Jade Lancers, they took no damage from anything else, and they lost, what? Probably more than 50% of their starting HP, as in if they're full HP, and just to that one hit, which ain't so great. On the bright side, we have distracted the enemy Cygor, and I guess these three are going to be stuck here for a while. Fortunately, neither the Gors nor the Ungors should be a particularly big threat to them, because we do have Earthblood available. That said, the rest of the fight is, well, where the fight will be. Ooh, wait, here comes a stone from the Cygor. Managed to toss it despite being distracted. I want to see if this impacts, and by the looks of it, it will, and a pretty nice hit to the Jade Warriors, and yeah, this is exactly what we didn't want and why we're moving in to fight the Cygor. A few of those in a Jade Warrior unit will be destroyed, so you guys best get on distracting him. Anyway, 53k damage from one Wall of Wind and Fire. Very, very nice. Anyway, before the Jade Warriors arrive, the Jade Lancers and their peasants that want to someday become Jade Lancers are fighting against enemy Centaurs, while the Centaurs would probably win in a one-on-one directly directly against any one of these units, and they are surrounded by pretty much all of our cav, with the exception of that one unit of Jade Lancers that got badly hurt by the Melkoths, and sorry about that, I misclicked. And ooh, the Cygor does manage to toss another stone, but it looks like it whiffs on that one. Alright, finally the battle is joined. Our Iron Hail Gunners have positioned themselves up on a hill and are firing down at Centaurs below. Our Jade Warriors will do their best to block the enemy off, while the Nan Gau Grenadiers try to fire at whatever blobs they can. The enemy does, unless I'm mistaken, outnumber us with sheer number of melee units, so we do gotta be careful. And once again, the enemy's units will shatter or rout through our army rather than through its own, which is quite the annoying thing, but what can you do? Anyway, Jade Warriors still holding, both Centaurs, Gores, and Ungores alike, and allowing our Grenadiers and our Iron Hail Gunners to continue laying down that withering fire. Please don't go into melee. I think they're trying to move forward to chuck a volley of grenades at one of the enemy range units, like so. And Ungor Raiders, being so fragile, basically no armor, will get torn apart with a single volley. Fantastic. One of the units of Centaurs that we charged with all of our cav got destroyed, but the second unit has arrived, and our own cav is fairly badly damaged at this point, so we're going to try to back them off. Try to reposition our range units, since they're the ones doing most of the damage right now. Even with Frenzy, the Jade Warriors take a long time to kill things, as they don't have any easy way to kill blobs of units. Once we max out their stats, however, I'm sure they'll get significantly better on us, as I don't necessarily want this army to rely on the Iron Hail Gunners and the Grenadiers to do the work. This is the Jade Warrior army. And not the Grenadier army. Anyway, I believe these three have finally killed off the Cygor, though it took a while, and have moved towards the enemy lord, who is a Bray Shaman, and the Great Bray Shaman, sure, and will thus get destroyed rather quickly. Not a fighter, after all. He will get one parting shot of another Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma before losing his head, though I'm sure that'll drop a fair few of those already damaged units of Jade Warriors. Otherwise, it looks like with the fall of the enemy lord, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Nice. Nice. Took a little bit of work, certainly took a little bit of damage, both to our cav and some of our Jade Warriors, specifically or particularly those that got hit by Melkoths, but otherwise we did pretty well. Alright, there we are. Not a bad fight, if I do say so myself, and we can take the 1,000 gold, though I think because we're not our own territory, maybe the healing will be worth more. Oh wait, these guys will survive, won't they, because the enemy army didn't run, meaning we can take the gold and then the second time attack them. We can heal, assuming they... oh yeah, they didn't go around where we can't catch them. Beautiful. Go after him. Bore Gore, you bore me, Gore, and kill. Lovely, and then this time we can, I guess, heal, although it feels like that hurt the peasant horses more than it should have, but oh well. We're hurt of the one I destroyed again. I guess they didn't have such a great time in the Empire. Anyway, you're gonna just cross to Shiwu, I think, because it's our own territory, and then we'll loop back around this way, or possibly even set sail and go down the river, depending on which is the more effective, efficient, beneficial, whatever. You're also at rank 13, meaning you can max out on yielding, but we'll still need a lot more points before the Jade Warriors are truly viable as their sort of own unit. And we are, let's see, we're able to get 2 more Jade Lancers, and then we're short 2 more, which is not bad. Wow, you are not healing at all here, are you? Man, we do need to go to Great Bastion. Otherwise well, I guess this is also a yellow territory, which is also causing a problem for us. Maybe if you can get to a green one, it'll be better. The other option would be to stick around here and then get ready to move down to the Cult of Zinch faction, though the main issue there is that we don't necessarily want to do it right now. And I think maybe we'll wait. I'll think about it. Anyway, let's see what else we got to do this turn, shall we? We do have... anybody? Wait, I think I moved everybody unless I'm mistaken. I did want to build another... where are you? Okay, apparently I didn't move everybody. You still needed to move. And, oh, right, I wanted to upgrade these, but I think you could just travel through Xiangyang and then still upgrade them next turn. We need to upgrade any of the... Yeah, we could upgrade them here as well. Alright, move right here. You'll reduce the construction cost of the Yin buildings in Shenwu and then move up to Xiangyang. That way we save 10% on construction in 2 territories rather than 1. Scout, you're going to Ulthuan to trade with those elves. And I'm just going to level you up because I feel like it. Oh, the Gate Masters do give us additional armor, which will be nice. Anything helpful here? I don't think so. I guess we'll just get training. I'm not entirely sure whether it affects you yourself when you're not in an army, but, well, not much we can do otherwise. And you're just a scout anyway, so that's fine. Let's take a quick look at the other Gate Masters. We got another teacher. We just need to get the capacity, so we just need to get the building. And I want to see the Celestial Defenders again. Astute and another Lieutenant. If only bolstered attack was also bolstered missile attack, but, you know, yeah, we just need more capacity of all the heroes, but that hasn't changed for quite a while, so we're just gonna have to wait. Otherwise, I believe we are good to go unless I'm mistaken, or if I am, now this is why I shouldn't do things out of order. We'll just cry about it next turn. Now, let's see Diplo again. And I think there's nothing interesting here, but I gotta, you know, keep checking the Jade Court with extreme paranoia just because... Oh, right, wait. I wanted to try to get Grimgor to attack these guys. Grimgor, still not at war with anybody. Join war against Legion of Asgore, 0.2. There we go, 631, go for it. We don't care about him liking us, we just care about him not attacking us right now because we then need to peel an army off of the Great Bastion to defend here. Plus our caravans keep moving through his territory. Eventually we'll trade all of this to Goldtooth to essentially act as a bulwark, though obviously the ogres make a terrible bulwark because the AI isn't good with them, but it is what it is. We'll just have to deal. We'll also trade them Valley of Horns and Amble Peak, meaning we can collect the 158 money here for a couple of turns. Plus, we can probably get them to finance us a little bit, so I guess that is another benefit. Unassigned skill points, building upgrades, compass selection, and caravans? Caravans look good. 2 and 9 turns. End turn. And no hero moves, meaning I didn't forget to move any heroes. Beautiful. Alrighty, looks like Greasy is coming down here and looking to, you know, capitalize on the fact that we've done all his work for him. Not particularly useful, but that's just generally the AI for you. I mean, we had to deal with the exact same thing from Jiao Ming after all. And by the looks of it, nobody's going to attack us this turn. Alright, I'll take it. Alright, let's see. Gormani Tribe destroyed treasury minus 500 to save a little bit of time, maybe, or... I don't know. Wait, is this... I wish I knew which caravan this was. Is this the first caravan or the second caravan? No, just stay on course, whatever. What is this? A disharmony of stone and steel. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. The winds blow ill, and your soldiers suffer great imbalance. They rage as if possessed, claiming to see enemies all around, screeching to dispense the Emperor's justice. Their herbalists claim to have even glimpsed flickering flames behind their eyes. So mandatory meditation gives us a little bit of charge bonus for 3 turns, or construction costs... What? Minus 80% for Yin buildings for... Yeah, well, yes, this. Okay, wait. This changes things. We need as much money as we can to upgrade all Yin buildings everywhere at the same time. Send them to the Dragon River, rather. Let's give us a read. Upon bathing in those sacred waters, not only will their fire be dimmed, but the spirit dragon will have their ancestors bear witness to their ugly fury. In their shame, they will know harmony once more. Shame them into harmony? Fair enough. The idea does amuse me, though. Alright, so... You could go here, but it's the edge of your movement range. I'm just gonna hope that these guys... Bolgfarg. Funny name.
The dragon-blooded.
Maybe... Because what if this guy can't travel from Great Hall of Greasus to Karakrakatan? Well, I suppose then we would be able to trade stuff. You know what? I think the safer course of action is to move to Karakrakatan first, and then having way go to Grimtop. Alright, so this will auto-resolve. And occupy.
They will know
And the other will do the same.
blooded sugar.
In a second. Apparently you stop moving.
of the sky.
Auto-resolve.
Fight!
And occupy. Second Trickster's Shard. I also noticed that Jiao Ming's army is not falling afoul of the auto-resolve too much. I guess he has sufficient melee adjacent units that he's happy with them. And ooh, minus 305 from Kugath. Yeah, he's gonna declare war on us, and well, I didn't really want to deal with those plagues right now, but I guess we're probably gonna have to. Anyway, Great Hall of Greasus is next. Let's hope that he can't reach it in one go.
As my siblings would
Actually, I'm concerned that he might be able to. Because if he takes it back, then then we won't be able to trade for it because he'll regain his capital. Well, I guess we'll see next turn, and if that happens, I don't know, man. I don't know if he can survive that for a number of reasons. Scryer of Fates. Let's scry some Fates real quick, and before I forget, okay, you get steel tech. Yeah, let's steal all the tech that's necessary. And there should be some tech thievery down here as well.
call from the heavens.
I could just click, yeah. Alright, Disharmony Dealer is steel tech. 100%. Beautiful. That success chance tech that we got really paid off. Then you, Chong Okumoto, you will be changed to, how about Heaven's, that's not gonna fit, Heaven's Interpreter. There we go. Nice. And now we have, yeah, the Shrine of Yin. Free, because this guy's giving an extra 10%. Okay, this is super critical right now. We can do a lot with this. Alright, you go down here. Okay, no, wait. Ignore that for now. Build up all the Yin buildings everywhere. We're going to have to do some admin, and we may even have to try to acquire some money. Because, yeah, it's important right now. I guess what we could also do is have Miao Ying attack Shiyama's Rest, reinforce against it, and then move immediately to Shilong, where she can fight a giant pile of undead, and hopefully, thereby, acquire the... What's the edge of her movement? She'd still have movement range there. Shangwu is the main place to be. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have sent this guy to Baleful Hills just to see if there were enemies there, because we gotta scout them out, eh? But it is what it is. Which of you needs to leech XP more? Well, I guess it's going to have to be Yuan Shanfu, because she's got the other two. She's got the 2 units of Jade Warriors. So you're gonna stay here. We'll have Juxia attack.
My ancestors require it.
Are these guys at war with anybody? Golden Order. We will join your war against the JIANGSHI rebels for money. And we may or may not kill you. After we did that, we could do the defensive alliance. Alright, we'll keep them around for now. I mean, the other Imperials are unfortunately not super willing to get any kind of agreements going right now, so we should probably do this. Alright, and no military alliance as yet. As long as they're not taking territory that's territory that we really want, I'm reasonably happy with that. Although I do wonder how... Well, no, this is Mountains of Heaven, and Mountains is probably not terrain that we like. It's yellow terrain, isn't it? Yeah. This is a really nice province, I will admit. Unfortunately, this landmark is kind of garbage, but there are 3 trade goods there, which would be nice to have. There is... Oh, okay. If this was faction-wide, even if it was 2% faction-wide, I would have declared war to take this, but it isn't, so I think we're okay. And if Gelt grows tiresome, we can always kill him off. Anyway, you are going to kill this or auto-resolve it, and I'm just going to hope that it doesn't do severe damage to Miao Ying's army. I guess if it does, then... Yeah, okay. Should have seen that coming. But oh well, you're gonna go here and occupy the place. And you are not gonna hold on to the Opal Amulet, however. Nongchang Basin.
Celestial ancestors.
Then... What's the best way to do this? Well, I guess most of these units will still melt away, so we should be okay. To have Miao Ying attack it as the main attacker rather than as the reinforcement. I really kind of just want to set up the army and go rather than waiting for the other units to arrive, you know? So you're gonna go here.
Might of the storm.
And we gotta rapidly take all of these territories before Gelt comes along and, you know, interferes with it. And then get all the money we can, because it'll mean upgrading all of this stuff. Wait. Oh, it's the wrong type. I was like, what the heck? That's way more expensive than it should be. Let's also delete this. You will delete this as well, and we need the landmark and the pottery here. And you can set up the Jade Dragon's Edict. At least for now, we'll figure out the other admin afterwards. And we got 3 turns of this, okay. This is also a good time to switch some of the Yang buildings to Yin buildings, although minus the ones that are kind of critical as they are. Huh. Although, an interesting option would be to switch them and then build them to the final level and then switch them back, which would be cheaper than outright building them. Although, am I unlazy enough to do that? I don't know about that. I'll think about it. You. I guess we can get Tactician for now. There's a lot of good stuff there, but yeah. You have Arcane Conduit now. What do we use the most of? Well, we use them Gehenna's Golden Hounds the most, by far. I still haven't decided on these, though most likely not the flames, either just the straight up magical and damage, or the poison. It's only 1 unit. I mean, the idea of switching the Eye of the Storm to poison attacks would be possibly kind of interesting, because it hits a lot of units at the same time. But it is significantly less. Well, it's about half as much damage buff as the Enchanted Metallurgy Piercing does. You know what? I like the idea. Let's do poison. Otherwise, it's going to bother me forever. Let us get to use Searing Doom, because we use that a lot. We should just start moving through We Are the Elite shortly as well. And do you guys need to level?
Offspring of
You're level 10 at least. Go here. And hopefully you don't suffer attrition. I see no enemies at the Bridge of Heaven, but there may be other armies there. You... Ooh, you have Spirit Leech X how many? How many times can you use this? 4 Spirit Leeches versus 4 Flocks of Doom. You are going to be using the Jade Longma, eh? Or Grade Longma. I'm inclined to say Spirit Leech. I think we have other ways to dish out damage to blobs of units, i.e. Talons of Night, that we don't necessarily need to rely on the Flock of Doom. Though I do like Flock of Doom, I'm going to say Spirit Leech. Yeah, Spirit Leech. And let's also get Power of Yin while we're at it. I do wonder if it activates if you use Spirit Leech, but it's a bound spell, so it might not count. I don't know. Either way, time to finally, at long last, fight some undead, and I'm so happy to see that these guys did not sail out. We've got a lot of Graveguard, and just generally speaking, a lot of Lords and Heroes. Should be fun. Go.
The Storm Dragon will lead you to victory. This is my vow.
Alrighty, well, the Storm Dragon will lead us to victory. As to how many of you survive, that remains to be seen. Facing off against 2 undead stacks, though we do have the benefit of the enemy being slow, and that's a fairly major disadvantage against a ranged army here. Should be pretty interesting, I'd wager. Plus all the physical resistances that the enemy might have, if they do have physical resistances. Some of them do. It's just the zombie physical resistances, though, that help them tarp it, but they will be completely negated by the fact that our entire army does magical damage, which is pretty darn nice. Anyway, the first of our shots will hit the enemy. Unfortunately, it is a dark map, though it is not so dark that we can't quite see what's going on. And on top of it, you gotta admit, it does often feel more appropriate to be fighting the undead in the darker maps, doesn't it? Especially as we know that necromancers and vamps like to cast their unnatural darkness for their armies to move around. So it does make sense. Like that the ghouls are waiting in the sort of water there. And the enemy is still moving together. They are only taking shots from our longest range units. Currently it's the Grace of Yin, and actually not even the other unit of a Celestial Dragon crossbows. The Grace of Yin here are going to act as the anchor over on the left flank and protect the flanks, since the Jade Warriors are basically limited to 2 extremely badly damaged units, and it's a bit of a preview of when we eventually only use the range units in this army. Both to act as range and melee. Our crane gunners are well positioned up here and firing over the heads of our entire army to fire down at the enemy below. And right now what they're firing at is the enemy Lord and Hero. Alright, there. Alright, so an enemy Vampire of Death and a Vampire Lord who does have a shield, but we do apply Shield Breaker with those crane guns, which is working reasonably well. The Grace of Chui Yin have been firing at the same time, and I only wish that we could reapply or re-up their ammo. Yeah, certainly, once again, thinking that there is going to be a lot of use for Imperial war wagons because they have recover ammo or whatever the ammo train ability that they have is. Should be quite nice. Anyway, enemy Lord down to less than half HP, about a third of its HP, and the Vampire, though she is being healed by Invocation of the Heck, is still taking hits. The rest of the army is slowly moving towards us, or at least in some places. I guess the AI was waiting for its reinforcements to arrive, which have admittedly arrived, but, well, how many of the enemy will be given their true death before the enemy has a critical mass of units to start moving towards us? I guess it remains to be seen. One more volley from the crane guns will bring the enemy Lord down. And it looks like with the death of the true death of the enemy Lord, well, assume that the dead don't rise and he comes back, will annoy the enemy army and spur them into action. Slowly but surely, they got across the watery terrain and reach us. And good luck to them. They've been taking all this fire from, what, basically 4 units, counting the Sky Junk this entire time, and as they get closer, that number is going to increase and grow more devastating. Especially with the fire weakness of various undead units, the Nan Gau Grenadiers should absolutely clean house, and the slow nature of the enemy means that when the Dragon Breakers hit them, they'll be even slower, and, well, that's just not what they want. I do have some Fellbats moving together with them, and they will probably go after our Jade Warrior crossbows and such, but I think the Fellbats are too weak, or at the very least their melee attack is too low to actually threaten them. And all they can hope to do is just to tie them up. We also have a pretty darn good position up here, firing essentially in 3 directions as the enemy continues to close. But it also does feel appropriate to be attacked from various sides, and they have been horribly outnumbered by the undead. That's always the way it should feel when you're fighting the Vamps. Alright, looks like Black Knights and Fellbats have finally arrived, making their way forward and smashing into our line of Celestial Dragon crossbows, but their melee will work just fine, and if they take a little bit of damage, we can heal them right up with Miao Ying's Earthblood. Looks like some of the bats have arrived as well, blocking off 2 of our units of range, specifically the Iron Hail Gunners and the Dragon Breakers. Though the Nan Gau Grenadiers behind them can still fire should they need to do so. Gonna do a little bit of area denial with the Gehenna's Golden Hounds and a blob of enemies, slowing them down via the effect of that vortex, and reducing their armor, and allowing us to fire upon those units as well, basically obliterating all 4 of them. Just gotta appreciate the view from the Sky Junk. There we go. I feel like you should be able to sort of, you know, put your camera specifically into the Sky Junk and just aerial units like this. Would be pretty fun. Plus makes the battle feel a little bit different. Anyway, it looks like those units that have reached us from the main army from the center are pretty much destroyed at this point. The enemy right flank is still moving in as their reinforcements came from here, and then the other reinforcements that came from here, of course, are so far untouched. That said, the number of units is rapidly dwindling, though admittedly our ammunition is starting to drop as well. And that's I guess, a classic problem of fighting the undead. Will they run out of corpses before you run out of ammunition? Loose formation of zombies. I wonder how well that does to resist the explosions from the grenades. I suppose once they close the distance and start bunching up against your units, their formation isn't nearly as loose as it was before, and probably thus start taking quite a bit more damage. Anyway, would you look at that? Our Jade Warriors still get a chance to fight at least a little bit. And the AI has certainly not buffed those zombies up to the point that they could actually act like unit killers. Though it was really fun to build two completely different all-zombie armies in my Manfred campaign. One to be super tanky and one to be super damaging. And I love seeing zombies actually be able to outfight enemies. It's pretty awesome. Though at least in part it's my bias towards the damn stalking. Anyway, Graveguard continue to move forward. Corals rain down from above. Gehenna's Golden Hounds disrupt their formation and damage them. Shotgun blasts to the face, and these are the Great Weapon variant. And I do believe a lot of the AI units were Great Weapon Graveguard rather than Sword and Board, and thus they're having a pretty bad time. Yeah, basically, as soon as they get into range of our shotgunners and our grenades, they get obliterated. Although they can certainly weather the storm of the crossbows. Alright, and I do believe Miao Ying has killed off the enemy Necromancer Lord and is now going after this poor Strigoi Ghoul King. Two of the enemy vampires were sniped, and two of them will have been killed by Miao Ying. Which is nice and even. Enemy Lord will... what? Oh, no, we're going to pop the Trickster Shard on the enemy Lord just after Miao Ying damages him, so that the Strigoi cannot heal itself. Alright, and a couple more tail smacks and the enemy Lord will drop, having done little damage to Miao Ying. A couple enemy units remain from the reinforcements over on this side, and yeah, the AI not waiting for those slow-moving reinforcements has certainly come back to bite it. The AI does have the behavior of sort of, once the reinforcements have arrived, often starting to move towards you, but it kind of doesn't recognize the fact that a lot of the reinforcements in certain armies are extremely slow, so this really is not a good thing for dwarfen armies, for undead armies, etc. Ooh, nice charge from some Black Knights with lances and barding. Actually managing to hit our crane guns. Definitely have to be careful. We'll drop a Plague of Rust upon them, reducing their armor to a mere 15, and their speed as well, though it's not enough speed reduction to prevent them from going after the crane guns, and we'll hopefully be able to move the Jade Warriors just to block them off. Fortunately, though, it was too little, too late, as the enemy managed to get that charged in once the enemy army was already pretty much destroyed. Alright, Grace of Treyan still fighting in melee against the last of the enemy skeleton warriors, but the enemy army is melting away, disintegrating at this point as the battle is ours. Miao Ying arrives to deliver a few final blows to those skeletons that still stood before transforming back into her mortal form and probably casting a few healing spells while the last of the enemy melts. And yeah, it looks like a couple of zombies, and wait, is there another unit running around? Oh, there's a few skeleton spears out here, I guess. Those zombies will be gone probably by the time we look at them. But hey, more action for our Jade Warriors. Means more XP for them, and thus potentially more closer. They get closer to being upgraded to Celestial Dragon Guard. Beautiful. Battle is ours, close victory apparently, and I would say it was close to some degree in the sense that we were very low on ammunition at the end. A lot of our units had run out. If the enemy had another stack, we would have had to have dropped everything and fought them in melee, which is something that I do find exciting. So as Miao Ying fully completes her army in terms of becoming fully range, later on in the game when we get some big stack fights, we'll probably encounter some situations, maybe like at Nagashazar, where we run out of ammunition and have to actually have our range units fight in melee. Should be fun, anyway. Alright, there we go. Bit of a weird fight, I readily admit, as the AI didn't seem to know what to do there. I think that it's the same... I think it might actually have been the same bug as the Fire at Will bug for our units. Though on the other hand, I think that only usually applies to the player and not the AI. But anyway, about half of the enemy charged us and the other half was sort of spread out along the battlefield. Not that they would have succeeded if they all had charged us. On the bright side though, while doing that fight, I came to a realization that we could probably do something interesting by combining the Dragon Breakers with the melee troops. Not so much because the Dragon Breakers are... slow enemies down, but that minus 40% melee attack that they apply to units should be pretty valuable, perhaps even to the Jade Warrior army. Certainly something to think about. Anyway, we will occupy the place. Presumably at tier 2 these guys will survive and maybe we can chase them down. Okay, we're not chasing you down, but neither are you going to be able to move over there. Are they both going to go around like this? You're not, but you're also probably going to move too far away. Let's see. Yeah, you can chase them, but then it won't work. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't get to Shiama's Rest anyway, so we're fine. You can just... Oh! We don't suffer attrition here. It cleared up the... okay, well that's good. You can go into... I was going to say minus corruption, but we haven't had a chance to actually use that. Go figure. I guess you can channel that. And Miao Ying... I guess you can stay in the settlement. I was about to say maybe step outside the settlement and then channel out there, but I don't think so. You will be deleted. Well, actually, wait. Yeah, I mean, I'd like the control, but since we have a harbor here, a port, we will want to instead build the other buildings. Alright, you guys sit where you are. Let's move everybody else around before spending the rest of our cash. Not you, not you, not you. You probably do want to move, unless we want to sit here. I mean, we could fight some of these orcs down here, but at the same time, not super critical. Healing up still is critical. Oh, you know what we could do? For at least a little while with this army, grab a few of the islands out here. Yeah, before heading down there, which we will still assign to this particular army, but I think I like that idea, so we'll move you here. You still need more of the gate masters as well. Like so, and increase mobility. Like so. Maybe I could have done that before moving, but anyway. Speaking of the gate masters, can we build them here? No. What's the closest place that we can build them? Astromancer's here, and we do need more of those. Come on, gate masters. Oh, they're so far. Alright, so this is the closest one. City of Shogun. Okay, so I just gotta remember. Oh, once we actually have capacity for them, damn it. Okay, fair enough. Administrator, you're good. You are. Well, it's positive now. Granted, it won't be so positive once we leave here, but nonetheless. Ooh, we can also upgrade these gem factors for real cheap. This is also a good time to start building. I mean, I guess we want the public order here. And the growth, admittedly. Growth is quite slow. I'm going to hold off on the iron mines. We should just build, you know what, stay here for the turn. Build everything we can that will allow us to... Can these be upgraded? Okay, these can be upgraded quick in one turn, so we could then save money by upgrading those. It's just that we don't have the money to do so right now. How much money do these cost? About 3,000 gold. I'm almost tempted to cancel those guys. To get the 3,000 gold back, because it's pretty nice right now. It would only cost us about one turn, and you can continue sort of rushing around here. In fact, I'd like... Okay, these are still free, so we should upgrade you, and you, and you, and I'm not doing this in order again, am I? Take one turn, we have this for 3 turns, so we could still upgrade you to full and then turn you back. Still costs 600, but it's better than nothing. And don't build this. Any other buildings? Okay, yeah, we'll build a tea parlor here. Beautiful, okay. Scout. Let's see if we can't set up a few of those trade agreements. Heaven's Interpreter, you are kind of stuck here on this. This place is too far, and... Oh, wait, we should... Okay, I, once again, did not do this in order, and I'm kicking myself for it. We'll go through them again shortly. Also probably upgrade you if we have the cash. Yeah, Heaven's Interpreter heads southward. You know what? Maybe even act as a scout. Go down here and either to Baleful Hills or Shangwu. Hopefully it won't matter. I think you're the only one that can move, and thus probably we can't acquire any more cash. You could try to move out and fight Village. There's no guarantee that he won't run, though. And we could also try to set up an ambush, but I'm willing to bet that he won't even attempt to go after this guy. Oh, wait, actually, if he does run away, we can acquire money like this, can't we? Huh. Actually, that's a question, because your army is basically, I don't know, less than half the price while it's sitting in Dragon's Gate. As soon as you leave and use up all your movement range, then you won't get that, meaning I'm not sure actually get anything out of this. Actually, have you defeated Village? Yeah, you have. You have not, though. And you may want to get the defeat trade. It's not much of an army, so we could just auto-resolve it, though the attrition would probably hurt. Nonetheless, might still be worth it. Go here. We'll go after this guy. You can't reinforce right now, and I would have loved to have taken the terracotta units for this, but oh well. Watch there be another army, another full stack nearby. Alright, you're gonna run, but that's hardly surprising. Oh, please tell me we can... Oh, yes we can. Ooh, I thought we couldn't reach him with this guy. And, oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big difference. It's not gonna save us any cash, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Yeah, just auto-resolve this. I'm just gonna assume that we don't take so much damage that it'll then kill off our units via attrition, but it won't. And we won't heal up, we'll just take the money to counteract the money we lost. No choice. And then you can channel, and then I guess you can... I was about to say back off towards the gate, but frankly, I don't trust it, so we're going to have you encamp here and sit by the other army, just in case they get attacked. Another Swordmaster, another Ranger's Axe, don't really care for those. We can probably turn those into a better item later on. You can, I guess, keep recruiting for now, and I believe that's all we can do. Elves, have we found any, and can we trade with any? We found Karakadrin, which isn't doing too bad, though allying with them would probably be not so great where the... No dice. Where Draca is concerned. Not a lot of cash. Let's do this. Alright, more trades is more money flowing in after all. Snakebiters, I think we can just ignore, although it is another ogre faction. Disciples of the Maw want to be allies, we'll ignore that. Non-aggression pact with Wargrove of Woe. There's potential for it, but they'll hate us for allying with their enemies, so it's probably not going to work out so well. Legion of Asgore. We need to take one more territory and just pray that Greases can't reach it. I really should have taken it first instead of a... Yeah. Let's just hope. I fear that since we can move this far, that they can move this far as well, but we'll see, I guess. And I believe that's it. Alright, building. What do we got? Forests of the Moon. Start with you, sort of. Okay, no yin buildings there. You're maxed out. And wait, do we need to switch any building types? No. Imperial Road. We do want to upgrade Wei Jin. In fact, we really want to upgrade Wei Jin. Ooh. That'll unlock a bunch more potential yin buildings, and it'll only take one turn to build, but we have to have the extra 6,000, which I'm not sure we still will. Okay, good. Chimai and all this stuff. We'll hold off on everything but the yin buildings for now. Spice Market. And, yeah. What about yin buildings here? Nothing? Okay, good. This was a pretty serendipitous find. If, it's not as good as materials at sea, but it's still pretty darn good. Upgrade and then upgrade. And I like the fact that we can just switch them to other stuff later, so we can cheaply upgrade them all like this right now. Do this. It costs just... Oh, it costs actually a lot to switch, doesn't it? Go figure. Not sure I want to spend that right now. We may or may not come back to you. Upgrade everything else for now. Beautiful. And we'll have to do the same next turn as well, and do this. I'd love to upgrade these, including the Celestial Monastery, but not sure we'll be able to afford it. You! I guess we'll switch you and then upgrade you this way. Oh, that'll destabilize your harmony, but it is what it is. Do it right now. Shiama's Rest does need to be upgraded for the landmark, but we can't. And I believe that's it. Alright, so, wait, we're trading this, so we don't care. I'm just wondering, if we trade it, will he still... Maybe he'll still move to Valley of Horns instead of trying to go to Great Hall of Greases, but on the other hand, he might have bonuses for moving in his own territory, which wouldn't be so good for us. Either way, we want to upgrade Wei Jin as priority, because it'll open up a bunch of slots, and we'll want to build up the tea parlor here. There will be another slot where we will upgrade the Temple of Two Moons. There was probably somewhere else where we wanted to upgrade the main settlement. The ports are great, but we will only then be able to take advantage. Okay, yeah, let's do Shenwu. Alright. Lovely. And skip, and compass selection, and I believe we're ready to end turn, yes? Alright, moment of truth. Will Greasy reach it? Taking all bets. I didn't forget anything in my excitement, but it is a distinct possibility. Just short. Ooh, okay. It looks like we lucked out. Just barely, but lucked out. Balthazar Gelt would like us to join the war. It's not gonna happen, buddy. We're here mostly because we want your land ships and your outriders and your hellblasters and there's a bunch of stuff in the... Ooh, and possibly the reload offered by the war wagons as well. The reload would help our artillery, which are very short on ammunition. Light on ammunition, whatever. Anyway, take the long way around, sacrifice 1,000 gold. But we need all the gold we can get right now. I once again... See, this particular... tree, I don't know, this particular... whatchamacallit? UI... I'm just looking around it. It has no indication of how many turns left this caravan has in terms of travel, and it blocks access to the other stuff, so I don't know. We can win this, but we will also take damage, and if this caravan still has 8 turns to move, then that's not good. I think we're just gonna take the long way, even at the cost of 1,000 gold. Magic Train, okay, well, annoying, but not a huge deal right now. Caravan complete. Please don't tell me that was that caravan. At least we got the free gold, and hey, free Luminar Cleanse. Weakness to fire damage minus 40%. Enemy armies in local region. Oh, beautiful. That's for the fire army. I really like that. I'm gonna put that on maybe you for now, because we do a little bit of fire damage with our artillery at least. And I gotta remember that you have this. Alright, that was a nice find. Pistoliers and caravans. Okay, so that was this caravan. Yeah, see, it has 8 turns left of journey time. If we had fought there, we would have been at like half HP in this army. Ooh, these guys can now upgrade to Jade Warrior crossbows, which I'd love to do if we had the money to do it. Let's send the next caravan first, I guess. You have 14 units. Oh, right, the Dwarfen caravan. Although... you, I feel like, should go to Karazakarak rather than... Oh, right, wait, if we send caravans right now... Actually, I think the only place we haven't been is Marienburg, so we should send a caravan there. Just Jade Warriors. These guys are upgradable, though, so it would be a full Jade Warrior army, which isn't too bad. Maybe we'll send you, and then we'll send the Dwarfen one to Karazakarak again, because the idea amuses me. Alright, fine. I guess you're going to Marienburg. And let's max this out. It is unfortunately going to cost us more cash, but it is what it is. You will travel... I think Jarnagrund is fine. We're not at war with anybody here. Yeah, alright, this works. This works. Dispatch. Hope I don't regret this. Good luck. Alrighty, next. Critically, we will want to grab the Great Hall of Greases, so you're going to do it. And Jiao Ming... There's Grimgor himself. Oh, Grimgor's heavily damaged now. Okay, we would like to auto-resolve this, so I think we'll move Jiao Ming in to reinforce. But this might be a good time to sort of snipe Grimgor, although at the same time... Oh! Greases is probably right here. No, we need to move back to Chiang and possibly even peace out with the Legion of Asgore now. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Change of plans yet again. Keeps on happening. Go to the Great Hall of Greases, please.
I demand that.
Like so. And then we will auto-resolve and not lose any units. Alright, and you can occupy the place, completing the territory. Don't care about the Gleaming Pennant, though it is better in SFO than it is in Vanilla. It's not that much better. Jade Dragon's Edict. And let's immediately start building up markets. You're going to switch to this type of market. You're going to switch to this type. And these guys are going to take 4 turns, though it'll get reduced shortly. It's a yellow territory, so it's not critical that we build anything here right now. Alright. And are we collecting income here? No, just got to hope that the... You know what? We probably will get more presence by doing this. Did that actually give us more? I think it gave us 2 more, so that's better than nothing. Anyway, Amble Peak and Valley of Horns. Now comes the time to begin trading these to Greasy. Let's start with the Valley of Horns, I guess. It's not worth much, unfortunately. Just out of curiosity, do you actually have gold to pay more? Well, they do if we wanted to get the military alliance, but I'm not so sure we want that. We could wait the turn, cancel these, and then rebuild military structures here, which would make them worth more, but I'm not so sure that it'll pay for itself as much. You know, let's start with 1, just with Amble Peak. Or with the Valley of... Now, Valley of Horns is more likely to get attacked by something. Let's do it with Amble Peak. So delete this, we'll replace it with the military structure, but we'll trade Valley of Horns right now. Okay, just to double check, it is not part of the... Yeah, okay, Mountains of War. Like so. Alright, we don't want him to draw us into random wars, so we won't do that. Oh, man-eaters are basically dead. Also, while we're here, let's check for trade agreements. No, just snake biters. The rest of this isn't particularly interesting. Neither is this, neither is this, and neither is this, and Confed, minus 50. Ooh, alright, but the scout will probably have reached Ulthuan now, so maybe we can get a trade agreement going with one of the elves, assuming that any of them are still left alive, because they don't look to be in great shape. Cult of Pleasure is here. Volzanvil has fallen to the Dreadfleet. Alistar and Tyrion are just basing themselves in Lothern. Okay, we'll want to trade with those guys. We could declare war on somebody they're fighting, like Nakari. Scourge of Cain's a decent option. Let's do Scourge of Cain for the trade agreement. This trade agreement will also help the elves out a fair bit, because the elves get a lot more benefits from it. Alright, there you go. Hopefully that'll be nice, and then as you move up, we'll try to find a few more of the other elven factions up here and then trade with them. How are we looking at? 8,000 gold per turn, still not enough, we're just gonna have to keep getting buffs on that. Next, Miao Ying. I'd love to chase down Wulfric, but I think you're a little bit busy. You can head directly to Bridge of Heaven from here. Heavenly Scribe, you have 11 turns, so I think we're not going to steal tech with you this turn. Just move here. You, however, have 0 left, so you will steal tech, but I don't want to waste your money right now. Not while we have the send them all to the Dragon River. Alright, success for you, and then you, I think, have also not a lot of turns on it, right? 2 turns, yeah, you unfortunately will have to steal tech. At least it's a 100% success chance. And whoa, 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 Great Moonbird. Okay, I didn't mean to... What the heck? How did I click the Scrivener? Oh, did you it's your own Scrivener? Okay, fine. Non-aggression. And I think we had another one of those guys, did we not? Yeah, Scryer of Fates. You have 11 turns. Okay, so you guys, while you have those turns remaining, you're going to take the opportunity to move elsewhere, to Kugath, to whoever, so that you can steal tech there without costing us a lot of money right now. And Shao, you're going to return in March stance to Dragon Gate, though, if we park you in Turtle Gate for now, we could probably get XP by raising the Red Fortress, though it will cost us a little bit of cash. You know what? Go to Turtle Gate, heal up to full there. And rather than having you recruit, we're going to have you transfer these guys to you. Not with all of them, but with enough. I think it's time to knock out Village at least. We'll still have to deal with the other stuff, but I don't want Village's, annoying access to his ability to teleport to annoy us too much. Anyway, get rid of one of the... I'm gonna say the Iron Hail Gunners. The Nan Gau Grenadiers are probably not too big of a threat to the Terracotta Automatons, I'd wager. Like so. Alright, beautiful. And we could try them out, and... Oh, the Terracotta Automatons don't count for... they don't count for Satang. Okay, not to worry. We'll build the Jet Lions and get Satang up and running next episode. I think we can accomplish it in a single episode. And then you are going to go out here behind Turtle Gate as well. Just to heal up here. Oh, like so. And also, can we build... Well, we probably can build buildings here, but I'm not so sure that we should, because we need to build other stuff. Alright, Miao Ying. You were gonna go to Bridge of Heaven. That hasn't changed, so go now. Can you leech XP? Not quite, I think. We still need to chase that guy down. Oh, for the love of... Okay. Might have to fight that, but it is what it is. Yeah, you should probably kill off this guy. I don't imagine that they have another army out here, at least I hope they don't. Alright, you're gonna go here, although what's the likelihood that this guy can then reach you? Well, he can raise dead and kill you, but I'm gonna hope that you can kill this guy. This is still our territory technically, so we should still be able to heal. And oh, for the love of... Okay. Do I want to fight this right now? I mean, I guess. He's probably going to heal himself. It is what it is. Alright, it feels like a waste of time. You know what? I think I'm going to call the episode here. There's a bunch of waste of time stuff to do right now. That little battle with Miao Ying, a bunch of that whole pile of admin where I have to find the Yin buildings again. So I think this is probably going to be the better time to call this episode here. So we'll call it here. Next time we will, having completed the admin, continue moving forward, and we'll probably get Satang the Watcher up and running and get our first battle going with our first of the terracotta automatons. So it should be pretty fun. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.